Hello, I'm Stephen Knights, and today I'm going to be doing an interview with Alex here, and we're going to be discussing his personal experiences in sport and relating that to anxiety and how he dealt with anxiety in the sport avenues that he participated in. So first off, how are you, Alex?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
That's good. All right, so first off, can you please list the types of sports that you have played and the achievements that you've gotten in them? So whether that be school sport, elite level sport, or even just social sport.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I've actually played a lot of sport in my lifetime. I've spent a lot of time just being like healthy and like active. I make a lot of like commitment to that just in day-to-day life. So I've played every sport probably from like cricket to like soccer. I've spent 8 years doing martial arts, and probably the sport that I'm the most passionate about and have achieved like the most in is soccer and futsal. So I got to the point in year 12 where I was invited to try out for the Australian futsal team to go to China in 2012, and unfortunately couldn't make the trial because I broke my tailbone in the same week. In the same week of the trial, I know, yeah. And since then, I haven't quite been able to get back to that like elite level that I was at. And then for martial arts, so I did that for 8 years, and I did 8 years of kung fu. And I got fairly high up in that. So they have just different colours systems, but I was the equivalent of probably black belt would be similar.
So you're really high up there in terms of
yeah, definitely got up there. Sure.
So you'd say that pretty much majority of sports you've got into, you play at a relatively high competitive level.
Pretty much. Like the ones that I've stuck to and focused on, I've definitely.
And would you say that as the competition got higher, that the anxiety that you felt while playing was more intense than down at like the more casual sports or the less competitive?
So I kind of feel like even when I was playing in like just club soccer, like just starting out, I feel like just making the grand finals or just any kind of bigger game, like bigger event, right, would always be something that I would get nervous about beforehand. Same with martial arts. And on grading days, the only time I would ever be nervous was when I had to, like, you know, really like perform and step up, I guess, basically. So as I got higher up, I never particularly felt more nervous than I did back even when I first started, right? So the nerves I feel like were pretty similar.
Right. And what do you feel like that was accumulated to in terms of the nerves? Like, where did those come from?
So I definitely think that they would be related more to performance and like having expectations and expectations of yourself and your if you're playing with a team, you're working with your team, you have to perform for your team. You might be, you know, like it's just a higher level like competition. You've just got like a role to fill, and you just need to make sure specifically that you fill that role and like meet the goals that you've set for yourself and like your standards and everything like that. Yeah. So that's probably where it would come from, and then also just to being outside of a regular game, for example. Yeah. Like it's just not just a Sunday game. It's like it's the grand final. So this is what you've spent the entire season working towards this point, right? Yeah. So I'd probably attribute it to that sort of stuff.
Right. So it was like the expectations that you had built up for yourself over the time, and you wanted to live up to those expectations to not let everyone down around you.
Yeah.
Right. And do you feel like that the anxiety that ever built up ever decreased your performance? Like you were capable of more, but you were just that anxious that...
Yes, I've definitely felt like that.
Give us some examples of when that happened?
Yeah, so I remember one specific grand final that I was playing in for soccer, and I don't know, like it wasn't particularly different. I was just extremely nervous about it, and then when you get to that point, sometimes you do mess up really simple stuff just due to being nervous about it, right? So I've definitely experienced that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Have, yeah.
Was there any like rituals or techniques that you did, like before the game or during the game that would help you like alleviate those nerves or like anxiety that you felt?
So one thing that I do is I always kind of warm up the same way. So I've got like a pre-game warm up
Right,
ritual
that ritual and repetition.
that I pretty much did before every game, no matter what. And so that became like a focusing kind of technique, I suppose, before playing the big game, or something like that. And I found that did help a bit. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot particularly that I found that really like alleviated nerves until I was actually 5 minutes into the game or something like that.
Right.
That's when. So it's just the build up
Yeah, it's
to something happening.
Yeah, right. The start of the game was the most nervous part for you, and then once you got into it, it was much more better throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely. You warm up, and then it just becomes another game, and you find your rhythm again, and all of that kind of stuff. So it just moves kind of naturally.
So how did you like get into that rhythm? Was it just from training? Like,
basically, I find like it's more about being familiar with what you're doing and like knowing what you're doing and how to play and what to do, and then it just once you get through the initial part of the whistle like blowing, then it just becomes like natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just kind of easy once you've done something for so long to be able to slip into like a rhythm.
Muscle memory almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So you've just practiced it that many times. When it finally gets to a high stress situation, you know exactly what to do when you're in game.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of coaching, like coaches can help you deal with anxiety in a way. Like you're in a lot of stress when you're in like a big situation like the grand final, like you said. Yeah. So how would you describe like your soccer coach? Like, was he a controlling type of coach? Was he like a real positive coach? And do you feel like his style helped you with anxiety in your soccer game?
So one thing our coach did really well was like pre-game talks and that kind of thing, like pep talks, I suppose. He did that really well, and so that kind of sometimes that had the benefit of taking away from the anxiety and replacing that with like energy, like hype.
Yeah.
Right.
Get that adrenaline going.
Yeah. More so converting from nerves into like something that's a bit more positive.
Right.
Like exactly, like adrenaline. So that's really beneficial, I always found. To have a good coach who's able to do that, definitely helpful. He wasn't like particularly controlling. He was just very passionate, I suppose, would definitely be the word for that.
Right. So you did you want to perform for him because you saw how much he cared about it and you didn't want to let others down?
More perform, kind of just wanted to, not get kicked off the team, basically.
That was your motivation.
Yeah, pretty much. He took his football seriously. That's for sure. So it was motivational in a way, I suppose. So yeah, of course, a little stressful, but it's okay. It was good.
Alright, so finally, to sum up what we've been over, you talked about that you played a large array of sports throughout your career, and that the higher competitive you got to, the more anxiety that occurred. You've talked about that these were mainly caused because you didn't want to let your team down, or that because you set your own goals for yourself and there was almost the fear of you not wanting to fail your own goals that you set.
Yeah, for sure.
And your ways to alleviate this was just the same pre-game warm up every time.
Yep.
And that you'd also just keep going through the motions. So when you finally get to that in-game time, it's just muscle memory at that point. So you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just another game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so once you got into the game and you got into that rhythm, you felt that almost the anxiety disappeared.
Definitely.
Right. And for your coach, you talked about that while he was a very passionate coach and he always got you into always hyped up about going into games.
Mm-hmm.
You also talked about that some of his expectations on you almost created another form of anxiety on you because you didn't want to get kicked off the team.
Yeah, definitely. Very passionate. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for doing this interview with me, Alex.
No worries at all. Cool.
There we go.